It's big small talks with Chucky, me and you. It's big small talks, BSing with the group. It's big small talks, expanding points of view. It's big small talks, it's big small talk.
Little Topo Chico.
Topo Chico, little yerba mate action.
Yerba mate.
Yerba mate?
Cheers.
Cheers. I love this stuff so much. Yo,
I tried some finally.
sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
You know what it is? Organic.
We
yerba
emailed
mate?
them. I don't think they emailed back.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah, we're like, look at it. We have 4 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they were like,
18?
no, I know.
Actually?
I think it was 19.
Are we at 19?
Sheesh.
19.
Should we
Let's go.
double check on the
Yeah,
podcast?
let's see what we got. But
Yeah.
19, we were trying to get to 20.
Yeah.
So, and then after 20, we try to hit 30.
We just,
Just
Incremental.
Small, yeah, just baby
Incremental.
steps.
Yeah.
Is what we're
Yeah,
about
we-
here. It's the big small steps.
big small 19 right
19?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Who's going to be our 20th? Huh?
20th caller.
Challenge. Challenge. Oh, well, I guess I could talk about that in the intro.
What?
I wanted to talk about the anchor thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Okay.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yes.
Elon Musk, SNL.
Actually, kind of funny.
It was not terrible the way
No.
everybody was. Because if you know who Elon Musk is, right? You know he's
Which
not an actor.
everybody-
Yeah. You know. Yeah. You just know how awkward he is.
Right.
Um,
Okay, but I didn't know he had Asperger's.
Asperger's.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either, but now it makes total sense.
It does.
Like,
Because I was like, like kind of looking at him like, oh, like I don't. And then he said it, and I was like, oh, like that kind of
Oh.
explains like maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of.
Yeah.
I don't even really know what Asperger's is, honestly. Actually, can you
neither do
Google
I.
it?
Yeah. Can you tell us what Asperger's
Look at
is?
us.
Yeah,
Look at us.
yeah,
Information.
yeah.
We're telling you guys.
But yeah, so like once you know who he is and you know what SNL is and you know that there's a bunch of writers there, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be like them writing a skit and then incorporating the act or the host. Like it's not like the host is there.
I could tell the monologue was a little scripted.
It's for sure scripted.
Yeah.
But those are like that for all of them though.
Yeah.
the
for
only
sure.
the only
Yeah,
ones
but
that don't have writers are like comedians basically.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so because they use it as like an actual bit.
All right, what do we got here?
Asperger's Syndrome.
So difficulty, social interaction. Yeah, get that on. There you go.
So it's a group of neurological disorders known as autism spectrum disorders. AS is considered to be mild end of the spectrum. So it's a form of autism.
Okay. It's probably
So
like
probably
more
mild.
functioning?
It's probably
having
mild.
difficulty with social interaction, engaging in repetitive behaviors, standing firm on what you think, focusing on rules and routines.
Yeah, high functioning autism.
There you go.
Okay, but isn't autism when you're autistic, you're very smart at a particular thing though? Like you can hone in on like one.
Yeah, like he's really smart at getting people to space.
Yeah. Right. Whatever it is, but like
Technology.
like if you're autistic, just say like you like cars. I think like you could name anything on cars for the last like 30
like an
years.
obsessive.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like so obsessive
Yeah.
to that certain
Yeah.
topic. But
Yeah, but then you're just socially awkward.
right.
And then with other things, you're just pretty normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
that probably explains like sometimes some of his tweets or some of his like mannerisms, kind of stuff like that. But
And I just think anybody with that type of genius is gonna be like that though.
Yeah.
You know, look at like Steve.
Zuckerberg,
I think Steve
Zuckerberg?
Jobs or Zuckerberg or any of those
Zuckerberg's
like
a weirdo.
they're
though.
weird, dude.
Yeah.
And they
He's more normal than them though, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, they appear to be normal in some stages, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where they kind of get their backlash is that, oh, well, they're just normal. So like why they should know better or whatever. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So the whole point of this is that there was backlash that Elon Musk was even on SNL. People were mad at it. Like even the cast members wanted to not do it and they were okay to
Right.
not perform.
Yeah,
It's
they
kinda
could have
interesting.
backed out. Yeah. I mean, and again, it's like,
Did anybody back out?
No. And then,
Oh, no one did.
Well, and for like half the cast, they don't even get on the episode sometimes.
True.
Right.
That's
So-
what I was wondering.
But
maybe-
and, yeah, I didn't hear none of the main people that are there like every night. None of
right.
them
None of
said
them backed
anything.
out.
But we were just saying, like, basically, it just people are mad that he's just a rich dude going on SNL.
Yeah, it's the whole, you know, making the rich richer again.
Yeah. Well, he was they said it was the first non-athlete, non-actor
Actor.
since Trump.
Since Trump.
Yeah.
And
Which I didn't even know he was on there. Honestly.
Trump?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He's been on there like twice, hasn't he?
No, just once.
Just
and
once?
it was on the leg to becoming president the first time.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I think it's
good
in like
for him.
2015
So that
or
one,
something like that.
so yeah, that's like I could understand a lot of people getting pissed about that because it's like, okay, you're picking a side, and it's a platform.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's NBC, so it's like very, very like liberal and like in their outward appearance. So it just kind of it's contrary.
Interesting.
But if anything, that would have been a good thing in a sense because they're giving somebody who's not liberal the opportunity, so they're not being like biased, right? So on SNL's part, that would be kind of
Well, and they're
woke,
just going
wouldn't
for
it?
they're just going for ratings, which it helped a
right.
lot.
Yeah,
right.
for
Well,
sure.
Elon Musk is going to have super high ratings.
I mean, I
'Cause-
haven't watched SNL in I don't know how long, and I watched almost all the skits just because I was curious. I wanted
Yeah.
to see. I wanted to see what he did. I wanted to see what they did, what they
Yeah.
wrote for him and stuff. And the funny thing is that a lot of the skits were like him trashing on himself.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that Twitter was getting pissed off at was that during the pandemic, he was not for masks.
He's
He was
anti-mask.
anti-masks, right?
Rough.
And he, in one of the skits, said, like they said something about him not wanting to wear a mask, and he was like,
Oh,
"Look,
because he was robbing.
yeah,
being
because
a
he was
robber.
robbing. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was robbing a store or whatever in the old country western kind of deal, and they were bandits. And he was like, "Look, I thought that masks were a bad idea at one point, but now I think they're a good idea."
Yeah.
Like it was just,
Yeah.
like so, like little things like that. Like it's just
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was
Like,
funny.
yeah,
It brings ratings. It's one of the most famous people in the world right
and again,
now.
we've talked about it. When you get to a certain point, say you're a musician or an actor or an artist or whatever, like you just want to do other things sometimes.
Yeah.
And like if he's been given this opportunity, like on the Joe Rogan Dave Chappelle podcast, they were like saying like he probably didn't even inquire about it. Somebody probably gave him a call.
Yeah,
and,
they reached
and-
out to him.
and he was just like, "Oh, that sounds cool." Like,
Well, and
like
that's,
it
that's the
wasn't
weird
like
part. It's like, why are you mad at Elon Musk? If anything, wouldn't you be mad at SNL?
SNL.
Right? Like, obviously, they want him on. You know what I mean? He's not like
Right.
dying for it. I don't think he paid to go on.
Right.
So,
And he doesn't need it.
but again, it's like I do think sometimes there's like a lack of empathy or lack of like humanizing the rich people. It's like
Yeah.
they are just people. Someone probably approached him. He said, "Yeah."
Right.
It's probably easy as that. It's not
Right.
this big whole thing that people make it out
Right.
to be.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
But then creatively too, I would feel like, oh, we don't get this opportunity,
Right.
often. We could do all these bits and jokes, which
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole new.
yeah, which I didn't think it was like I liked because they do those like almost filmed those film video
Yeah.
sketches. I think those are probably better produced.
Yeah,
than, like,
well,
the
because it's
live
not the
stuff.
live like yeah.
Yeah, well, and then just the content too on a lot of the live stuff. It's very like just hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's been that for a
That
while.
Chad one was funny. The astronaut,
Yeah.
like
the
that.
Chad
That,
one,
that
yeah.
was that was probably the best one I think.
I wanted to ask you a question because of like your film background and stuff, and you too. So with SNL, because we can all agree that SNL has been kind of bombing. Their cast is not really that great right now, and I think that's kind of like everybody feels that way. Do you think, kind of like what we were talking about, like with the bottles last week? Do you think that like the filming of everything, like, because it looks really crisp and really good, like their cameras look like really awesome, and like it just looks like well produced, but then like the content isn't that good? And if you look at the old stuff, like the cameras don't look that great, like and obviously the technology wasn't that good, but like the acting and the improvisation and the skits and the writers and the cast members were just so good. So the videography didn't really matter much. I feel like what they're doing now is they're trying to be more like technologically advanced and like correlate
It's more
like
of
more in
the-
a film. It's
Yeah.
like that industry kind of deal, and they're like lacking in their cast. Do you think that's like? Do you think that they're maybe kind of like hitting the mark on priorities? Or do you think it's just like the people that are auditioning are just like not that great right now, and this is the best that they could do?
Yeah, I think because there's a lot of restrictions of what could happen. Like there's a guy called I forget his name. He was a stand-up comedian from Philadelphia, and he got hired, but then he got canceled like right away.
Mhm.
He got fired because someone dug up a podcast of him like talking about saying like the word chink or something. Like he said it in a bit,
Okay.
and they saw that and they just stopped it right away.
Nicked him.
So it kind of stifles like creativity, you know. So I think when you see like old episodes, you're seeing a lot more freedom. And also, like, one of the things I notice in a lot of sketches is that there's a lot of like pointing out the obvious. So, like in the cowboy sketch, like you already know the joke. They're like, Elon, like, why would you do like? There's a lot of this, like they're just trying to get the obscenity out of them.
Yeah.
And then, so as an audience member, you know what's happening,
But
nothing's going to be outrageous.
I think with that could be because Elon Musk isn't a comedian. They kind of need to set him up like that.
But they do that with like all the hosts.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I think for me, I think not as much as far as content freedom. To me, it's more back then the avenue was, you know, you're a comedian, you stand up, you go to SNL. That's your thing to then get your show and stuff like that, right? And now there's so much more. You get a Netflix special, you have a podcast. There's so much more avenues.
Like you don't have to go to SNL.
So the top of the cream of the crop is not going to SNL. So now you're getting
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So I think now you're getting people who maybe you want to do SNL, but
that would
Pete
have
Davidson's
to be your goal.
not the top comedian.
Yeah, like
Will Ferrell was the top. Like Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy, like, these people who were on there before. Like I don't know if Eddie Murphy was a cast. Did he? He was. Yeah. So like those are those are cream of the crop dudes. You know what I mean? That's like the highest level people.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson's not that dude. What's the
well, but I think
the guy who's like the main guy that's been there forever.
Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, him too. You know what I mean? So like those are
but you know what's hilarious though? So like with Kenan Thompson, because like he came from Nickelodeon, all that.
Right.
It was like the SNL of children.
He was Mad TV too, right?
No, he didn't do Mad TV.
No? Oh,
no,
I thought he did.
No. But he was doing that SNL, the kids version,
right.
And then he did some movies and Mighty Ducks and like all this kind of stuff like that. And then he got on SNL, and it almost fits him perfectly.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's the greatest, but I think it fits him perfectly. Like I like him on SNL,
right? But I'm saying where are the heavy hitters though?
No. And what I would say is that like completely agree with what you're saying is that the people that have seen what SNL produces is a lot of people that go into Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
They want movies. They want to be like the heavy hitters or whatever.
Right.
And I think for most comedians now, seeing what Joe Rogan's doing, seeing what podcasting is doing, actual stand-up, which is what people actually like to do typically, unless they're into improv. So like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, they were like in improv. So it's like more acting.
But again, still... I don't see any of these people going off to do that.
No,
like I don't see any of these people getting their own movie or their own show. Like
they
like Pete Davidson,
they do stand up,
right? And that's about it. But even then, they're not the top stand up guys.
That's a good point though. Like SNL now, it's like a Tonight Show. So back in the pre-90s and before that, it's like you do this work and then you get on the Tonight Show and then you'll make your mark. So the same thing with SNL. So now, like, there's this kind of history in the last, like, 10 years. It's like, oh, okay, that's not really what we want to do anymore.
Yeah, I almost watch SNL for the guest. But probably prior, back in the 90s, all that stuff, you're watching SNL for the cast.
Well, it's crazy right now. And I know that they've done this in all their seasons where they would bring back a former cast member every now and then, But now they do that all the time, it seems like, because their cast is so bad. Like, they need that, like, help.
Yeah, because I actually think their content is fine. They have a lot to pull from with the technology they're doing. But
I don't think it is, though.
Well, no. I'm saying they could be.
It could. They have so much.
Because think about it. If there was this much technology, all this stuff, now you're putting Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy, all these dudes in a room. It's going to be crazy.
Right.
So I think either the writers are different, because maybe either the writers moved on to something different, and then also we're not getting the heavy hitters. Again, SNL is more like who's the guest on? Okay, now I'm going to watch it.
Right.
Where again, back in the day, it was like I'm watching it every week because I want to see Will Ferrell every week.
Right. No matter what. Right. And if the guest is good, the guest is good. And if the guest and their cast made the guests succeed.
100%.
Like the guest didn't really have to do much because I
couldn't tell you the cast right now besides Pete Davidson.
But he's not even a cast member right now, is he?
Yeah.
He still is?
Yeah.
Him, I thought he was like out.
Kenan Thompson and like
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, there's
Michael Shea.
I don't even know.
Do you remember? I think his name's Matt Moog. Is it Matty Moog?
Oh, the guy that
he was on YouTube.
Was it YouTube? Yeah. He's. Oh, it's Let me check.
Yeah, he was a YouTube guy, and he would just do funny like videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And then one day I just saw him on SNL. Just
That's what
and
I'm
I was
saying.
like, "Whoa, that's
It's
funny."
not-
Well, and the guy
And then
from
Matty Day from
Wild 'N Out.
Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, but
remember
again,
Matty
yeah.
Day,
No,
the white
I've
dude,
seen him,
the
I've
white
seen
dude,
him.
the white dude. When and they would rap, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, Wild 'N Out.
It's just like it's again. If I'm famous and I'm funny,
Yeah,
I get a YouTube channel and then I'll get a show off that, and I'm getting money off my
100%,
YouTube. Right.
100%.
I'm not
There's,
like a
there's
salary.
better way.
Kyle Mooney.
Kyle Mooney. Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of remember him.
Yeah, he's funny.
But
See,
see,
and that and
so
then,
yeah, pull this up.
and then
So,
the
like,
other thing
I
is-
I don't know half these people.
I know the dude to the right, the black dude. What was his name? Michael Shea. Okay,
He's the head writer.
okay.
And he does the new update.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just going through a weird time right now where, like you said, SNL's not the only way to make it.
Right.
And it's like,
But before
oh,
it was.
before
It was like
you had to.
I think they talked about it on Joe Rogan. I think Dave Chappelle's talked about it before. Like,
yeah,
and like people have talked about like that was your thing is you go to SNL. I mean, you wanted to get
Right.
one of those comedy shows, improv shows. You know, it's kind of like back in the day. You know, you do
yeah,
your sets. You know, it's way easier now. Like
Yeah.
even like they talked about on Joe Rogan and Chappelle was the Andrew Schultz. Like
right.
he found his
Yeah.
like little niche.
What'd you
of-
think about that?
I thought it was interesting they talked about because Dave Chappelle was kind of like
Dave
he's-
Chappelle was like, I'm not about it. He's like, I don't
he's
even
like
care.
good for him, but
Yeah,
like
I don't care.
that's not my type
Yeah,
of
he's
comedy.
like, yeah,
But and I actually watched the Netflix one. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was funny.
right.
Are you talking about Andrew Schultz's?
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that funny. It's too
No, it was fantastic for minute increments on Instagram.
Yeah, but not
when
30
it's like
minutes.
backed up, it's like watching what's
The E show,
or no, what's
the soup or something.
It's like watching Tosh.0 or
Right,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
the soup. Yeah,
yeah,
I love Tosh.0 though.
yeah,
But
yeah, but he's yeah, but
this,
that's
this dude's just going.
really
But he's just and it's constantly a picture.
Okay,
it's
but-
too much punchlines.
okay. But what Joe really does like give him pay homage to or
Yeah,
give him
give him
props. Excuse me. Is that he realized that at a stand-up show,
Right.
there's got to be timing.
Yeah.
There's times for laughter. There's whatever
Yeah.
you
And it
feed off
started
of
on
or whatever.
like Instagram stuff.
Yeah,
too.
well, but he started doing that during the pandemic when he
Right.
didn't have a crowd.
Yeah. No. He
And so-
super creative.
Yeah, so I think when I watched that, because I only watched it once and I never watched it again, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't like I watched it and I was like, oh, dude, this is like the best thing ever. Like, no.
Just creative.
I just think it was funny for what it was because it was not only informative,
Yeah.
it was not only pulling off of both sides of the spectrum in terms of perspective, because he would like take like a hot take and then he would shit on it. But then he would like kind of twist it and be like, well, but is it that like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
that bad because we're also doing it this way? Or like, and so he just kind of crafted it. And yeah, it was fast and it was back and forth and back and forth. But it was just, he kind of took on everything that we were going through in a matter
Yeah.
of months.
Well, yeah.
And he
but
just
I-
condensed it down into 2 or 4 episodes.
I disagree with what Lauren was saying. I wish it was just
Instagram.
yeah.
Well, and it's just tight that how like he got that going too. Like it was like
Yeah.
this hustle, and Netflix gave him, I think it was just like a couple weeks to to edit and everything. Alex, their tech person, he had to learn Premiere like on the get go.
Right.
Kind of
Damn.
like Final Cut. It's like, oh, you got to learn this now. So
Immediately,
he was
yeah.
Like, so like as they were editing the whole thing, they were watching tutorials
Right.
just on
That's
how
sick.
to do it.
Well, I think again, like think about him, right? So he's found this market, had the technology, did this whole thing, right? But like
And for everybody
Well-
that doesn't know who Andrew Schultz is, he's a stand-up comedian.
yeah, Flagrant 2 podcast.
Flagrant 2 podcast, and then he kind of just blew up during the pandemic. He was climbing
Right,
pre-pandemic, but during the pandemic, he actually hit his stride.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what we're talking
And he's
about.
in that Joe Rogan kind of sphere, I guess.
He was in the stand-up comedy sphere,
Right.
and he's young, and
but like okay, so like
and
him,
so-
like
yeah.
would he have gone to SNL?
no,
Right?
for sure.
No,
not.
I'm saying back in the day. If that was the
I see.
right, people like that, you would try to go on. Now he doesn't need to, right? He has his own podcast.
See, but you would
he
still
did his own thing.
You would still have people that wouldn't try for SNL though, because look at Joe Rogan. He didn't try for SNL. He wanted to do
'Cause he didn't
stand-up.
need to. Well, no, actually,
no,
he's kind of
old.
older.
He's
Yeah.
old. No, I'm
Well,
saying,
but that's also not what he wanted, and I agree with that.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Andrew Schultz does. Again, I don't want to speak for Andrew Schultz because who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that was his dream and he just never did
Yeah.
it. But I think it does take a person who's into improv,
Yeah.
you know, those guys. It's very rare when it's like a straight up stand up, like a Eddie Murphy, right? Like he was just doing stand up.
Did Jim Carrey do it too?
Jim Carrey auditioned and he got denied.
But he did.
He did it in Living Color,
right? Which was
and then Ben Stiller auditioned. He got denied.
He auditioned because he wanted to do his own like was it like like offset of it. So you know how like in so like the shorts that Andy Samberg did.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to do his own show, but like on SNL, and they're like, no.
Gotcha.
You know? And then Jim Carrey, Steve Carell.
But you think about it too, though. That was almost like it was almost hard to get in.
Yeah.
Because it was the
now I'm sorry, but like some of these people I'd be like, I'd much rather see this person than these guys.
Right.
I mean, like I don't
like. How'd you get on there, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like it was super easy. I just like walked in, was like, hey, can I be on there? Like, please, yes.
Yeah.
You're hired.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, where I guess maybe it was like a higher standard. So maybe that's what it is, just kind of diminished.
That's true. Yeah, I think that was a good point that you brought up because I didn't really think about the demand of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So much more out there. I mean, but cable in general, viewings are down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, of just cable in general because there's Netflix, Hulu, HBO
well, but that's
Max,
not cable.
Apple. I mean,
what, SNL?
Yeah, SNL's not on cable.
Like
that's Channel 4.
Television.
That's
but I meant like
Standard
standard TV, like all that viewership's down.
Yeah.
Even sports viewership's down.
Yeah.
I mean, like football's still like the number one, but like they're down. Basketball, MLB, all of it's down.
Yeah,
because people are just streaming stuff,
and they can just watch the highlights.
Right.
Like they don't need to watch the whole
show. I could go on YouTube and watch the skit. Why would I watch an hour and a half of Elon Musk when I could just literally Google the skits?
Right.
So I think that also plays into it. So when it's not as big, you're not going to get the big people that want to be on there.
Right.
You know,
that's true.
because if you can just get a Netflix special, why wouldn't you do that over going on SNL?
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah. On the Rogan Dave Chappelle episode that just came out, it was I enjoyed that conversation when they were talking about that specifically because he was basically saying like good for him, good for Andrew Schultz on doing that, but for me,
I like that he had it like
he didn't let up either. And Joe was trying to basically say like, yeah, but like, you know, he really did like do this and he did that and you got to, you know, give him credit.
I'm just right
here.
before that. Like I listened to like a little bit and then I came here. So.
Yeah. He basically was like, but that's what I'm saying. It's not what I do. Like that's not what I do.
Right.
And he's and it never will be.
Dave Chappelle's pretty interesting as a comedian to me because not a lot of his stuff recently is like funny. Like he's actually like very intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Talks about a lot of like
he's changed
different
though.
Right, exactly. But he's just like a
changed person.
Like it's not like a comedy podcast. You know what I mean? When you think of like you see like if you thought Eddie Murphy was on there, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be like hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I thought like the Freddie Gibbs podcast was funnier than the Dave Chappelle one.
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs is funny.
Well, but okay, so just to basically play that like middle ground of when people hear about Dave Chappelle or watch something of Dave Chappelle, like it's always like, oh, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. And the cool thing about the Joe Rogan podcast is like sometimes he gets people on there that like it's kind of nice to hear them be normal.
Yeah, no.
So
for sure.
what I was while I was listening to it, I was thinking like, oh, you know who would be a really good guest on the show is Will Ferrell, and not to be funny,
like
just to like talk
serious. Yeah,
like just I want to know what that guy, his temperament.
Yeah.
I want to know how he views
Kevin Hart
life.
was kind of like that.
Kevin Hart.
No, I like that too. But I mean,
and they have those little elements of like funny, you know, because he would say some stuff where like they would both laugh, and it was funny when he would make Joe laugh because you know he has that like smokers. I thought they were gonna light up a joint.
Yeah, they didn't.
I know. I was like, I mean,
what? I don't know.
They were just. He was just smoking a cigar, and then he was
smoking cigarettes. And they were drinking coffee.
Even some of the stand-ups I've seen, or some of the stuff like when he talks about like you know getting like fucked over on the show and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a lot more like serious. Like even a stand-up. He doesn't come in with like energy where he's like trying to, you know, it's like it's funny.
Yeah,
but he also says some like true shit in there, and it's.
But again, it's playing into the times though, because he feels. One, I think he's coming from a place of like, okay, like I can do whatever I want now, and I also have a voice, and it's my own voice because it's not by anybody.
Right.
Like I'm not owned by anybody.
Yeah.
And so I think what he's doing right now is he has an understanding that he has a really big impact on the Black community, on the comedy community.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just trying to make sure that what's happening needs to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And with this whole COVID thing and everything like that, because he's religious and because he is like, a little bit older, I think he's probably writing a lot. And even though he wants to do some comedy stuff, I think he needs to make sure that he's getting his point. I wouldn't be surprised if after all this is said and done and all that, because he's doing his podcast now.
Yeah.
So it's more speaking. And then they're doing like their shows, his own shows. Like he's doing his own bills. It's almost like if you were a musician and you're throwing your own music festivals. Like he's doing that.
Yeah.
So it's all him. And so his impact is not just comedy anymore. Whereas before,
100%.
It's like all it is comedy. And the thing is, if you go see him, like during just a random pop-in, I feel like that's when he's probably as funny.
Oh,
He was saying that when he was on his 10-year break, he would just there was one time in New York or whatever. He's like, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And he's like, "Oh, Dallas, I think it was."
Yeah,
like,
somewhere random.
I want to do stand-up. And so they went into a bar. And
shut the bar down.
They didn't do that on purpose.
No.
He just, "Can I borrow a microphone?" And then he went up stage and started doing like
He's like
stand-up.
a 4-hour set.
Well,
bro.
people started tweeting like, "This is wild." Like Dave Chappelle's at this bar doing stand-up, and so then they had to lock the doors because it got too big.
Yeah, and it was after hours.
Yeah, and it was after hours, and he was up there for like 3 to 4 hours. He said.
That's crazy.
So you got to think like
that
was
has to be
hilarious,
right,
because he's just like messing around.
Yeah,
I think what he's doing right now on Netflix and all that stuff, he's got to get all this baggage off, because it's like, and he's got to also let everybody know, like, this is what I've been up to. This is what I've been thinking about this, because people are wondering.
I think that is like a evolution of like comedians. You learn how to be funny without doing the extra shit. Like even Kevin Hart, like his newest one, like he's not jumping around as much. He's not as like he's doing his stuff, but it's a little more calculated. You know what I mean? You don't have to be as animated and as.
It just depends on who you are,
But I just feel like that kind of comes with time. You just like mature more,
maybe,
to where you're like.
I think it just depends on the person.
Because
Cat Williams, I love seeing him jump around.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's like when he talks about like getting shot and he has the and he's like, like damn, I was just watching.
Well, he's definitely like a physical comedy guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Dane Cook. Did you ever watch Dane Cook's first stuff?
I probably have.
Well, he was a little like history of it. Like he was determined. Like he was basically like a Kevin Hart. Like at first he was just like a killer. He had all this energy. He was running around like Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you see like his more recent stuff, like he almost seems like an old man. Like he's
why did he die off so crazy? He was like,
you ready for the story?
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it before.
His brother was his financial advisor. He had like all his money taken care of. He stole all his money.
Oh, I think we talked about this.
And it's still to this day. But he got caught. So his brother's in jail, prison, or whatever. But he went bankrupt.
Dane Cook.
Yeah. And he was on the top of the
he was
heat
pinnacle
for Hollywood too, though. So his story goes back. His story goes back though to that startup. He was the very first comedian that got famous off of the internet, MySpace. That was his thing.
And was he one of the first ones with MSG, Madison Square Garden?
He was
recently.
He was the second one. The first one was
Eddie, wasn't it?
I don't think he did MSG.
Richard.
It was
Richard Pryor.
Pryor.
No, let me check. It's like
he was like the second
Italian, like Italian guy.
Sebastian.
Yeah.
No.
Oh. But anyway, so he got famous off of MySpace, right? So basically, he had a ill taste. People had a bad taste in their mouth of him in the comedy sector. So all these comedians, instead of being good with him, they were like, "This dude hasn't put in the work. This dude doesn't know the struggle. This dude is just coming in here, taking all our spots, whatever."
Right.
And so he didn't have their support. And then he started getting Hollywood movies. And same deal. This dude's coming in here. He's taking about all our spots, yada, yada, yada. So then he didn't have the support of Hollywood, the people, the workers, And so he had this kind of weird, this weird, not rumors, reputation.
Oh, okay.
He had a weird reputation because people made him seem to be a bad dude, kind of like an asshole. And who knows, maybe he was. But when he's talked on podcasts, he I don't know if he's telling the truth or whatever. He's like, I legitimately didn't know that people thought that way about me.
Because he wouldn't hang out with other comedians.
Right.
So that was, I think, a big part of it. Also, he got accused for stealing jokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which
But like, why hasn't Netflix like thrown him a special?
it's just he might not want to.
He might not want
I mean,
it.
well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that could be it. But
It's all
if you
his
see all the other people, it's like,
because his old specials were on there for like the longest time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and then he kind of strikes me as the same type of deal that like Louis C.K. is doing. So if you go on his website, you can download his like specials and stuff. And then he like before the pandemic, like he was still popping off at the store, the comedy store
Think
in
Cook was?
Hollywood. Yeah,
Oh,
he would
nice.
just pop in, and he was up there on the main.
I need to go to the comedy store.
Dude, we should go.
Yeah.
It was fun. We saw Joe Rogan there with Nick.
Oh, okay.
That was a good time.
Yeah,
But I want to.
we
I've never
saw-
seen Joey Diaz. I really want to see Joey
I don't
Diaz.
really know who that is.
Have you seen him?
You don't know who Joey Diaz is?
No,
Oh my gosh.
Let me see
Mm.
if you could
put me on. Yeah,
No,
let me
like
see. Let me see.
he's the epitome.
Pull a picture of him. Pull a picture of him so I can see.
He was like on The Sopranos and stuff. He's like a big. He looks Italian, but he's Cuban. Is he Cuban?
Yeah.
Yeah. He speaks in Spanish and stuff, and he's part of the Joe Rogan crew.
Oh, I know this guy. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Put it up on the screen so that people see this guy. He's
Yeah, I know this guy.
Oh, no,
he's a
no.
monster, dude.
No, like he's the epitome of like what's like if you want to just die laughing at a podcast, like he will say the most craziest shit.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
where you're like, how is this guy not arrested?
right.
Yeah.
The crazy shit he's done.
Right. Like because he'll talk about old stuff too, like
Yeah.
and yeah, he does not give a crap.
Yeah, we'll watch some
Yeah,
Okay.
he-
stuff.
yeah,
Alright.
he's funny. But
Here, go back where you had before with the sellout of MSG. Sorry, it
Oh, it was Andrew Dice Clay.
was the first one.
no idea who that is.
Really?
Well,
No.
it said
He
6
was-
people had sold out MSG.
I think
think
Kevin
Kevin
Hart
Hart-
was the first black, or no, maybe
Yeah,
he was.
That's probably true.
I think he was the first black
right there,
comedian.
That
Oh,
first.
is he-
That first. Yeah.
So it was
Oh,
You
was
want
he-
to pull? You want to pull it up on our screen? Okay, so Eddie Murphy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Raw. Okay, yeah. Raw is
Yeah.
fucking insane.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I was
Eddie
right.
He
Murphy.
was the
Wait,
first.
scroll up.
I knew it.
He was the first.
I
Yeah.
knew it.
Okay.
I love that comedy special, dude. Raw.
Yeah, Raw. Yeah,
You-
if you guys haven't seen Eddie Murphy Raw,
Dude,
you need to watch
But
that.
you know what's funny is so on the Joe Rogan Dave Chappelle episode, they were talking about Eddie because they were like, dude, like he keeps talking about coming back and doing because he hasn't done stand up in something like 30 years or
Yeah.
it's something crazy.
Dude, I would.
And they were saying how like he is probably the funniest person just naturally.
Yeah.
Like that they've ever met. Like there's nobody that like can compete.
Everything I see from him is hilarious.
Hilarious.
He's just so smart, so funny.
And but what they were saying that I didn't know this, and I don't know if maybe this was the first time it was brought to the attention of the public on the podcast, but they were saying that he actually feels bad about his previous specials because of where we are at in our society like now, like culturally and stuff. Like he looks back on that stuff and he just like he doesn't like it.
Interesting.
And so
they were very, very raunchy.
dude, like
Yeah.
I mean, you would think he was homophobic, like transphobic, like like
Right.
everything because he just went in on everybody.
yeah.
But a funny analogy that Chappelle used was, I don't judge somebody from an old photo that wasn't taken today. Basically saying like if that worked then
Well,
and
he was talking about Gandhi, like Gandhi
Yeah.
being
yeah,
like tempting himself with little girls, or
right,
whatever,
right,
and being racist.
right. But then like now we're like trying to cancel Gandhi, but he's like dead. And so it's like, well, what you got to look at what he did, positively for what we, where we're at,
Mhm.
and also know about the negative. But really, you can't do anything about the negative anymore because he's dead.
Yeah.
But with Eddie Murphy, it's like, what really negative things did saying all that content do? I don't really think it really did any harm,
Not back then, but
not
maybe
back then,
now
but-
if you rewatch.
yeah, now.
Well, what I was telling my mom, like, so like they wanted to cancel like Gone with the Wind, right?
Which is what the movie,
Yeah, the movie, like
Okay.
like OG
the book.
movie.
book and movie, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Book, then movie.
But OG movie, but again, slavery,
Mhm.
racism, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, it's almost like a piece of art.
Mhm.
So like instead of canceling it, why not have like before you watch it, have like a advisory warning, like a trigger warning, advisory warning, like, hey, like you might get triggered by this, you might be upset by this, maybe change the rating so it's rated R so kids can't see it. Instead of canceling it, making it more like, hey, there needs to be like an advisory beforehand of like, hey, this is what was wrong back then. We're not going to take it down.
But like
you have to
everybody should
understand it.
know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody should already
But
know
obviously,
that.
but obviously they don't because
But
they're
they
trying
do
to
because they're
cancel
trying to
it.
cancel it. They do know it. So
but
when
like
you
but if I didn't know of what was happening and you said, "Oh, there's slavery in this movie," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that shouldn't be there."
but it's
Like
old.
if I already had that mentality. Well, that's like the idea,
I'm
but
saying-
that's right. What you're saying is because it's like you can't rewrite because that's rewriting history basically.
Right.
You know?
So, and I get it. Like it's not that stuff's not okay. But why not have then an advisory warning at the beginning to be like, hey, this might trigger some people. Like you might right. Like like a parental advisory. Like so to watch this, be careful.
What is it rated now?
I think it's like PG. I think it's PG or G or something like that. It's
So
it was removed from HBO Max. I think.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I would like if that happened,
So
I
same,
wouldn't be
so same
mad.
thing
but
with like if you
I
want to
just
go
feel like
see
you're
Eddie Murphy.
coddling everybody at that point. Like, just like
Yeah, but they already need to be
be
coddled. So
adults.
like, well, that's not going to happen. But what I'm saying is, so like again with if, like Eddie Murphy's Raw, if you're going to
there's
see,
already an explicit thing there. It's
yeah,
rated R.
no, but now it needs
But
to
this
be.
is but this is a feature film. You know?
Yeah, but so I'm saying if there was like a trigger warning, like hey, like he says some homophobic things,
It's rated G.
so it's Gone with the Wind is
Yeah.
So I'm saying like it's a trigger warning for people. It's
Yeah.
like an advisory,
Yeah.
so that it's not like it's taken down. It was hilarious,
And
at
then we
the
can
time.
track those people who don't watch it and know that they're going to get triggered by anything.
What do you mean?
I'm just
Oh.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, just basically don't let them watch anything and then they'll be good. They won't get triggered if they don't watch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with them
Don't
being.
watch
I
it.
don't
Don't
agree with
watch
them
it.
being triggered.
don't
But
watch
I'm
it.
just
That's
saying.
the thing. Like most people who like do get triggered, like they don't. I don't think they have a lot of the idea of. Hold on. I don't think they have really the idea of like, well, like if I don't see it, it's okay. I think a lot of people who are triggered, they kind of want to take that extra step to make sure that it's like not available for most people. Kind of thing. I just don't think they really will leave it alone.
No.
They're gonna go till like it's like
That's why I'm saying there should be something to kind of protect the art.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So
I like well, and then kind of like when they put the explicit warnings on music in the 80s, it just sold albums. So like maybe like it would actually like
Help out.
maybe like movies or whatever.
you've
like,
Gone with the Wind was rated R.
yeah,
It's like, oh shit! Like, all right,
I
let's
heard,
watch this.
I heard this
Huh.
is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Django, but in the 30s.
But I've never
It's
seen.
like Django.
I've never seen the movie. Is it like? Is it really bad with racism?
I don't remember. I think I missed out one of the classes. It's a long ass movie. It's like a 4-hour movie.
It's that one movie that we talked about. It's like the record holding
Yeah.
like one
most
of the longest movie.
highest grossing of all time.
Yeah.
When you adjust for inflation.
That's funny. Well, I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that idea. Then I mean,
Right.
Give the people what they want.
If it would protect the art,
yeah.
you know what
True.
I mean?
Yeah.
But
Man, speaking of art, J. Cole be coming out with something
dude.
quick,
I
yo.
know.
J. Cole
God
be
damn
coming
it.
out with something so okay, so he just came out with this documentary thing on his album. It just released today, like maybe a couple hours ago.
Oh yeah, that was
Which-
today, huh? I thought
yeah.
that was yesterday. Yeah.
I was on my way to the gym in the morning and I went to go click on it because like it refreshes your YouTube,
Yeah.
whatever.
Top.
But it was a
You were like,
premiere. So it was like doing a countdown. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like,
oh, okay.
I didn't really realize
Yeah.
that you could do that. But yeah, so he released this little documentary thing. He released a
12
single,
minutes.
12 minutes. It's just
Yeah.
so watchable and it's so dope because you just kind of get into the mind of what
Where he's at right now. Yeah.
And then he just released a song, Interlude
interlude.
on Friday. And it sounds like, and I posted this on our Twitter or on our Instagram.
Right.
It sounds like to me, based off of that song, that he's going to be trying some different things with
Artistically.
what's popular right now.
Yeah.
And with what's popular right now is that auto-tune,
Yeah.
kind of like deal. Not like so much like a T-Pain, but
Right.
like I don't know, give me somebody that like is it Tyga or
No,
Travis Scott?
You think more like Travis Scott
Travis
or
Scott.
like basically all the mumble rappers do it now.
Yeah, Lil Wayne.
Yeah, he
Kinda
does a
deal.
little bit. Why can't my mind's going blank now?
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like, because so far in all of his songs and all of his albums, like he hasn't really done that yet. I'm sure he uses auto-tune, but I think he uses it more to correct his voice.
Right.
And so in this song, it was done tastefully. It wasn't overdone, but you could hear it. And
I liked it though.
yeah, me too. And so I'm thinking that based off of that, and then based off of the two singles that he's released, it's
Lion
going to
King
be
on Ice and The Climb Back.
The Climb Back. I think it's going to be this mixture of using those elements, using the trap elements, and then using his, old school kind of J. Cole hip hop stuff. Because on the documentary, he's basically saying it's his best stuff that he's ever written.
He's saying that he's grinding now. Like he's like, look at, like, I've gotten comfortable. I need to put myself back mentally, physically where I was. And I need to
even more
get back in it, and I need to practice like basketball, which, by the way, he just got signed to a basketball team,
right?
The African
That's
League.
dope.
So he's going to be playing basketball. That's
sick.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's sick.
Go ahead and pull that back up. So this kind of shows it too, but
when was this posted? He posted this in 2020.
This was
18 weeks ago.
18 weeks ago.
So obviously we're wondering if the fall off is the retirement, but It's a Boy and the off season. So off season's the newest.
And if you notice, this is the era at the very top.
Right.
So the fall off.
Yeah, that
era.
was your like. I think this might just be an era.
Yeah,
because some people thought he was going to retire. So if you look at the top, he's features, and he talks about it in the documentary. Like, I didn't have features.
Right.
And he's like, am I going to just go down, never rapping with anybody else?
Right.
And that's where he started going on all these songs. I mean, he was being featured constantly.
Yeah.
And he even has it on Spotify. Where the fuck is the off season? It's like his playlist. It's all his features and stuff.
Yeah.
He did Return of the Dreamers. I think another thing too, like you were saying, like he's doing this new school stuff.
Yeah.
He talks about it on KOD. He's like, hey, like you guys want the trap drums? You guys want this stuff?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you what you want. I'm just going to do it better.
I'm going to do it my way.
Right.
And I think, honestly, that is so genius. Because it's like, so even thinking about like the way I look at things, right? So like I'll be like, no, I don't do it like that, or I won't do that because I don't want to stoop down to their level, or what. It's kind of like an ego thing if you think about it.
Which he kind of talks about a little bit.
And it's like, if the culture and the public and his fans are asking for something because this is what they like, you're making music for yourself because you want to be really like proud of your art and the pieces that you come out with.
Right.
But really, they're the ones that are going to be the ones playing it over and over and over again. And they're the ones asking for music from you. And so if you take that egotistical mindset away, there should be a middle ground of, okay, like I don't really like that, but they do. And I know this is where my skill set is, and these are where my talents lie. I should be able to, like, if I'm really good, if I'm really good, I should be able to mend the two and make it my own.
Right, yeah. Because you don't want to just keep putting the old shit out.
Right.
Because, I mean, some people would like it,
Yeah.
or, like some underground stuff would like it, but, like, he's trying to be like, hey, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to do what you do. I'm going to do it better.
Yeah.
That's why he's going to add the auto-tune. He's adding the stuff.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm excited to hear what...
Comes out this weekend, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear what he has to say on it too, because obviously I like his beats, like I like his music. Like I was just telling you when we were watching that documentary, it's like his music to me, I think maybe is why I like him so much, because I can listen to his production just without his vocals,
and he produces it.
I know,
yeah,
and so like awesome. I could just listen to those like instrumental albums and still be like, damn, this is so good.
Yeah,
and then when he goes on top of it, you're just like, and that's why you can re-listen to them so many times, at least for me, because one day I'll be listening to the instruments, and then one day I'll be listening to the lyrics, and like, one day I'll just be singing along with it, not even thinking about it, because I just like the tune.
Right.
So I think that's kind of why I like him so much.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see what he's got going on. I really do think that if he's putting era up there, and the way he was talking on the documentary, I guess the way I'm interpreting it is that until the fall off, this is what he's got going on. And then after that, because in the documentary, he says like, I just want to, like, after this whole thing is over, like, I'll feel like I met my quota. Like, I feel like I would have been successful.
Yeah.
I think because he's so young and because he's so driven and because it's just the way he is artistically, I think what's going to happen is anything after that is like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
And like he can do whatever he wants, and like who cares about what people say about it? Like, he might come out with a whole features album. He might, produce for other people.
Probably
like,
more dreamer stuff.
Like, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
like there's just going to be other things that's not just J. Cole.
Right.
But I just don't see him retiring like right now.
I'd be interested to see if there's more features on this album, because like in the documentary, 21 Savage is in there, and he's on the 21 Savage song obviously a lot.
Right.
The song's called A Lot. And then so I'd be interesting from how he's talking. It sounds like there's gonna be some features on this album. I'd be interested to see if he does more Kill Edward stuff.
Yeah,
because that'd be kind of cool.
And you know what's wild is he like on Kill Edward's Twitter, like back when KOD came out.
But Kill Edward has its own Twitter.
Yeah, and
sick.
his own Spotify page. Like, he has its own.
Oh, I don't think I knew its own Spotify page.
He only has one song on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so dope too. Pull up on Spotify. It's Kill Edward. But basically he had put up that he was going to be playing shows and like coming out with like new music and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it never happened, and that was after KOD. So it's been a while, So that's it right there. Kill Edward is basically like his alter ego, and he puts like this weird kind of like deep auto-tune, like pitched auto-tune on it. So it sounds kind of warped, and it's
you have
just
to look up on Google.
But yeah, he only has one song, and then he was featured on KOD like 3 times.
Yeah,
Kill Edward was.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna have features on this album.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe his features was that on the list. It says features and crossed off, but
I think because like just because like 21 Savage and all them were in there, it wouldn't surprise me if like they were just in there listening to the stuff and he was just kicking it with them,
Right.
Because did he have features on his last album?
KOD?
KOD, he didn't, right? And then he didn't have features on what was
no,
his...
the other 2 he doesn't for sure. But he talks about that, how he feels like he'd never worked with anybody.
Yeah, but he started doing all those features though.
Which is why he probably opened his books. Yeah. Can you go to KOD? Let's see if there's any features on.
There's not.
No.
The only features he has is Kill Edward.
Himself.
Yeah, as Kill Edward. Because like I feel like he's the dude that's known for not having
features.
Well,
he was like
that's a song. No, go to albums. Scroll down.
He was like when he dropped Force Those
there.
Drives, he was like the first rapper since the 80s to go platinum with nobody featured.
Right.
No, nobody featured again.
Featured. See, and I feel like
So what is Kill Edward?
Kill Edward is
his,
J. Cole, but
yeah,
it's
like alter ego kind of thing.
He like sings, and it's like a weird low octave warped kind of auto tune thing.
It's dope.
It's sick. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel like and this is just me like wanting him to be like Cole. I feel like he won't have any features on there.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe the features is all just a side thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Dreamers
and I'm thinking after the fall off season or era.
Maybe
it's like let's go like whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Let's make a featured album. Let's make this. Let's do that.
I will say the more and more, because like sometimes I'll like have a day where I'm like, let's go back through some J. Cole stuff.
Yeah.
I really fuck with For Your Eyes Only. I think it was really underrated in its time. I think it's aged. It might have aged the best.
That one
sometimes
has
Force Hills Drive, obviously my favorite album.
Yeah.
And I love like listening to it. But like as far as like what aged the best, that might be one of it.
That's the one that has Fold and Close?
Yeah.
Yeah. See that because I feel like that album is more like personal. You know? Like and it's just like him flowing and the beats are like very like underground to me.
I think he has a documentary about that album too.
I think he does too.
I haven't seen it.
I think he does a documentary for pretty much everything.
That'd be awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, he also talks about on
awesome.
the documentary, Middle Child was supposed to be for the fall off.
Right.
And he's been hoarding these music.
Yeah.
Like these songs. And then, like, he put out Middle Child and it went, Middle Child's his number 1 song on there still.
Still.
Yeah. It's a good song though.
It is a good song. What's the song that he wrote about Kanye? False Prophets?
False Prophets.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that one's dope too.
High for Hours. I think that's the one where he talks about he like met with Obama. Something like that. So like that,
I just like what he was talking about, like Kanye.
Yeah,
and you could tell it's about Kanye. Like,
there was articles about it. And shit.
He went in on Kanye.
Yeah, because he's just like I like looked up to you.
And what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, dog, this ain't it no more.
This ain't it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for. I think TDE is releasing something.
Kendrick's right behind him. I feel like
it's this weekend is TD's dropping something. So it's either SZA, Isaiah Rashad, or Kendrick. But Isaiah Rashad,
I don't think it's Kendrick.
Isaiah Rashad did release a song last week, which is dope.
And then SZA is supposed to be coming out with her album.
So maybe it says his album.
I don't know if
she's on TDE
I think it would maybe be a single because she's released 2 singles so far.
Can you go to TDE's Instagram? Or TDE's Twitter?
I just got a feeling like if J. Cole they're Twitter.
They're Twitter and Instagram.
I just got a feeling like if J. Cole was about to come out with an album, I mean, that would be pretty gnarly for them to release Kendrick's too.
Yeah.
Not because I just don't think it would be wise for either of them. TDE.
Yeah.
But I guess it would.
No, that's not it.
Just in Google
just
search.
Go to Google.
Yeah, just Google TDE Instagram.
All caps.
And how would they know? Like they would have to what a coincidence.
What?
To release the same album, like their albums on the same day. Because they're not in
Well, I mean, you know,
conversation with
I mean,
each other.
like Sienna knows like when you're part of like a whatever your umbrella you're under, Universal, Sony, like there's a list. You can,
No,
you
I
can see what's
understand
coming
that.
out.
But
So
they're not on the same.
Like, go up. The wait is over. Scroll down a little bit. The wait is over. And since it's 5-7. Oh, 5-7, that already happened. So it was the Isaiah Rashad song.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Okay. Which I love that song.
Okay, yeah.
But everyone thought it was a Kendrick album, and it was
No.
like, oh shit.
No. He's right behind though. Because didn't he post something? And
I think
then LeBron James tweeted, you know, I'm missing King or whatever. I'm missing Kendrick.
Yeah.
And then Dissect Podcast retweeted that and he's like, the king has spoken.
They were like, because he always listens to the new rap, and he was like shouting out like Yellow Wolf, and everybody under there was like, "Oh, Lakers are losing this year." But no, the Isaiah Rashad song was cool.
Really? I don't even know who that is. I thought he was a football or a basketball player.
I'm gonna put you on. He's dope. I actually got into him late. His like last stuff was like 2016. Everybody's waiting for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but he's dope. You'd like him.
All right. Yeah, I think because SZA said that she was. I'm surprised her album's not out yet.
Drake's album's supposed to be in January.
Damn.
We're in May. Certified Lover Boy. I'm waiting on that shit. Rihanna was supposed to have an album.
Oh, really?
Hers is still like taking forever.
Yeah, but that's been
2016 too.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
Damn. That's when Damn came out? 2016? Or
No.
2018.
Anti.
Oh.
You said, yeah.
Okay.
But Damn was wild.
2018.
Yeah, Damn was not as long. But,
Yeah. I think it's been 5 years. 19, 20, or no, like 4 years.
It's like 3 or 4.
4 years. That's going to be sick.
Yeah, so this weekend, look out for J. Cole, the off season. I'm going to be stuck in my house listening to it.
I wonder if we should do like our favorite song breakdown next week and take advantage of the new Anchor platform.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be cool.
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll try to figure out the software on that. And how to do it all.
We'll if we do decide to do that, we'll have to do 2 episodes because I don't think we'll be able to do that episode on YouTube. The breakdown. We'd be able to do the breakdown, but the songs wouldn't be playing.
Right, but on Spotify they would pop up.
Spotify they would pop up.
So I mean, we would just shout out the song.
Yeah,
you have to go listen to it on YouTube.
True.
But
yeah, we could do that.
Okay,
I think that sounds good. We could pick a couple.
Yeah,
maybe do like 5 or whatever.
Does that work for Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, Apple
You'll
too.
hear it.
Oh, it does. It does the split. I don't think it does the split up on
maybe just Anchor.
Platforms.
Maybe just
it's
Spotify.
Just Spotify because it has something to do with the copyrights. Because Anchor is a platform through Spotify.
Right.
So when Kenny Beats did it on Rick Rubin's podcast, they just got the rights.
Well, it was through Spotify,
but it was through Spotify.
So it's on Anchor, which is owned by Spotify. The song was on Spotify.
Right,
yeah.
I didn't
so
hear
it's
it on Apple
Podcasts.
Right.
Yeah. So. But again, if we're doing just the breakdown, they can go listen to the songs. We'll let them know which song it is.
Yeah,
and
for
then,
sure.
Yeah.
Do like a
and then it's just
breakdown.
It's just a little reason to go to Spotify.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen on Spotify.
Well, eventually we're going to have video on Spotify too. So.
Well, that's the reason we did it. Is because like eventually, I'm assuming Anchor, since it's Spotify owned, they're going to probably... That's going to be the spot to go to be able to do that.
Because if we could do video with the music in there as well,
that's going to be game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
Game changer. Then we don't even need YouTube.
Yeah, I mean we'll still post to
it. Yeah. I don't like. I'm hoping that they fix it. I don't like Spotify's video streaming.
No, me neither.
When you go out and in of the app,
it pauses.
It pauses. It
Yep.
like skips.
And if I've been watching the video,
Yeah.
then I go out. If I try to play it on my lock screen, it won't sometimes. So I have to like reopen it, go in Spotify, and then
Yeah.
play it from there.
Come on, Spotify.
I know
Get your-
it's bugs, and I don't
together.
like when the ad plays, like what you said happened to you, like when it goes to like the like it's like its own song, you got to skip through it,
Yep.
and then it goes back to it. Like why not just throw that in there?
See, I kind of like that. I can just skip through it, and I know exactly that it's going to start at the
Yeah, but
beginning.
the first time I was like, what is this? Like I like went to it like a new
yeah,
song.
you just got to figure it out though, because
Yeah.
once you figure it out, then it's so easy. You just
Yeah.
until the screen comes back, you just go.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're kind of guessing. You're like, all right, let me skip 5 minutes. Nope, let me skip 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Nope, let me
there's a
skip.
little 15-second skip though. You just little 10-second thing.
Yeah,
a
but
little,
it's like 7 minutes. You're gonna like hit all that time for the.
Yes.
I just like. I mean, it's easier to
Well, it's
just
just-
swipe.
What is it, like 28 finger presses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like,
Did you just do that head math? Damn.
If I was,
you're-
I didn't, but if I was right, it's like that's sick.
good for you, dude.
Wait, 15 times 7?
15 times 7.
no, it's more. Than,
No,
15.
15 times. You said 15.
I said 10-second skips.
So 15 times 10. That'd be
150.
That'd be 150 seconds.
Right.
So it'd be way more than that.
So it'd be like a little over 2 minutes. It's 150 seconds. It's over 2 minutes.
I mean, but you're a gamer, so like you just like.
Yeah, it's like
got that-
grrr.
yeah.
No, because think about it. Ads aren't that long. So
I know,
just
but
like,
it's just so easy to swipe to
yeah,
the
but
right
then you're
real
not
quick.
there. I can just I'm listening to it
But I just do that.
because the ads only
6
what 30
times.
seconds.
They're all different.
Well, now with that one, I'm saying before, but yeah, I mean, their new thing's fine. It's just weird when you first see it.
It's like there's no good way around it, to be honest.
No.
Because I just like that it's in the front because
Maybe they
I don't
probably
have
did
to
it too
listen
because
to it in the middle.
right, you don't have it's not in the podcast, so
Yeah.
the podcast
'Cause that
time
sucks.
running time is actually just the podcast.
Yeah, you're like in the middle of the podcast, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
yeah.
"Hey,
I mean,
have you ever tried MeUndies? I love MeUndies. You ever tried Blue Apron?
ZipRecruiter.
Oh, yeah, ZipRecruiter.
it's all the same.
Yeah, Squarespace. Or it's like, dude, I get it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Get creative with it.
Yeah, like figure it out. Get a different ad. That's
Yeah.
why with the ads that we like hopefully get, I just hope that we like the brand
Yeah.
and we don't mind like Yerba Mate. It's my favorite.
Fast forward
drink.
5 years.
Yeah.
We're sponsored by ZipRecruiter.
Yeah.
Your first Blue Apron. Sign up. 10%.
And we're like in blue aprons, like we have like a
Yeah.
little like
Actually, that'd be kind of cool if we did like a cooking
like
thing.
a commercial.
like
I'd be
we
down for
actually
that.
did it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. See,
Didn't remember you sent me the one
Cody Co.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Tiny Meat Gang. They did theirs.
Yeah.
Their ad was funny.
That was pretty.
Because it was
funny.
creative.
Yeah, it was creative.
So I like that.
Yeah, that was an eBay commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Tiny Meat Gang.
All right, we can get
All
out of here.
Yeah.
Last minute movie recommendation. Nobody. Go see Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. It's an action movie. Gore. Decent comedy in it. I'd say watch it.
It's in the movies.
Yeah. Here, pull it up. Pull it up.
Who's in that?
It's the guy from Better Call Saul. It's
Okay. Saul?
Saul. It's Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future. Everybody's
yeah.
him. Not SZA.
SZA.
RZA from Wu-Tang. You can just pull up like the poster for it or something. But it's good. It's basically like,
Nope.
super out of the John Wick handbook.
Is it John Wick?
No.
Oh,
No, John Wick.
just
is
right
its
click
own-
on that poster right there, dude, and put no. Yeah, there you go. Full screen. See image.
Just open image in new window or new tab at the top.
But that's
there
the
you
link. No,
it's
no.
a-
Don't
it's
do
a
the
vi- it's
YouTube.
a video.
Don't do the YouTube
God
one.
damn it.
Get out of
I
there.
got
Get out of there, dude. Get out of there.
What are you doing?
Come on, Jamie.
Let's do that one right there.
These are all fucking.
Dude, it's all right.
It's
Who cares?
over.
No,
Anyways,
yeah, it's
just
all right.
Nobody.
You failed the
good.
podcast.
It was nice singing in
Failed
theaters.
the people.
Nobody wants to see nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody wants
But
to
it
see
was
nobody.
cool. It was. I mean, it's an action movie. It's fun. Nothing like you're not like. There's not like twists and turns. It's pretty straightforward, but
Sounds like I hate it.
it was fun. Nah, I mean, do you not like action movies?
I've never seen John Wick, so
That doesn't mean you don't like John Wick. Do you like action movies?
I get. Yeah. Like 007. 007's cool.
Yeah, but it's more like we'll watch John Wick. We're gonna watch John Wick, and then we'll reconvene and we'll have this
I'm gonna watch
conversation.
all of them.
Yeah,
There's 3.
there's 3.
There's 3.
John Wick's so good.
I've like only seen half of the Matrix.
Of just the
Okay,
one
but
one.
Matrix,
Half
but the
one.
Matrix is so much more of a convoluted story
Uh-huh.
where nobody, John Wick, it's like,
just like a
it's like, hey,
easy-
like Russian mafia. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck all you guys up.
I think my favorite action movie is probably like the Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy.
Okay.
Bourne, like
Yeah, those are good.
007.
Yeah, even those have more storyline. This, I'm telling you, it's pretty straightforward. It's like, oh, I used to be like part of this thing, and now I'm like a super agent.
See, I feel like I
and I'm
won't like it
gonna-
based off of your description.
All right, well that's fine.
We're gonna see it. You're not
Yeah.
invited.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
Which one?
Oh,
No, you've seen
No,
John
I've seen
Wick.
all the
I
John Wicks.
haven't seen John Wick.
We talked about it, but we're saying you're
Oh
not
no,
invited
I'm
'cause
down
you
to
don't-
see. I'm down to see John Wick. I just don't know if I want to go spend $20 on nobody.
There's only 10 for the matinee. We went at 2:30 in the day.
Was there a Mother's Day because you took your mom? Was there a Mother's Day discount?
There was not,
Ah,
but it was because it was 2:30. There was 10. It was like 20%
that was a
off.
discount.
So it was like it was like $10. Not bad.
But then you spent more money on concessions.
Not really.
No.
I mean I got Skittles, but you know,
No
Which-
icy.
no.
What?
Because usually I do both. So I do one or the other. And I shouldn't have done Skittles. I should have just done water. I was good on my diet. And then I did Skittles because you know what happened? I was like, oh, I only had a little bit of the Skittles. That night playing video games, I was fucking munching on the Skittles all day. So I was like,
So you split up the Skittles.
I did, but in one day. But I did play basketball that day. So I burnt a lot of calories doing that. So
There you go. See,
Yeah.
he's back.
I don't know.
He's back in action.
I've been like sucking in the entire podcast. So
I just suck in naturally.
yeah.
I just always suck in. Damn, you look so skinny, dude. You look so
I
good.
hurt my back. Okay.
All right. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Appreciate
Yes.
it. Big Small Talks Podcast.
Love you guys.
Out.
Bye.